Coming up on Hold All Tickets, it is the final episode of the calendar year, but we still have feature racing. Lamby, the Supernova, takes charge at Pakenham.
Yeah, I think there's a potential Group 1 galloper going around in the Supernova, and I've dished out 6 votes for a bit of post-race expertise from last Saturday.
All of that and much more, plus the best bets at Randwick's coming your way on Hold All Tickets right now. Hello and welcome to Hold All Tickets. It is Thursday, December 19th as we head into the festive season, and on the horizon, Magic Millions is just sneaking its little head in there. I'm your host, Alex Donnelly, not joined as always by James Lamb, because in the last month it's just been an absolute ragtag crew, and the original crew's back together with myself and Lamby. Lamby, how are we?
Good. Interesting use of rangtang. I don't think I've ever heard that, but it works.
Yeah, we have. Well, we had Adam and Xavier just really not steering the ship. It was
I'd say stinking it up with the tips, but no, it was good to have those guys just jump off the bench and do a solid job.
It's good to have a little bit of variety while I enjoyed a holiday. You got married and...
I did, yes.
Safe to say, I think you fared a bit better than me. I got sick on the way home on the plane.
Yeah, well, that happened. I mean, I got pretty crook from my Spanish trip. I
Yep.
COVID for about 2 weeks. Oof. So, but you got to enjoy the holiday and then deal with the rest.
Yeah, it was. It's what is it like? You're enjoying yourself, and it's like, oh no, here's the repercussions
back
of it
to reality.
all.
Yep.
Really was. Xavier and Adam on the bench again this week. Also, the C team, Darren Falvey, just begging for a call up potentially for Magic Millions. But we are brought to you by our sponsors, Boom Bet. Great fixed odds, more value, and more boom moments. Sign up today and get in on the boom. All right, on today's show, it is headlined by the Pakenham Cup and the Supernova. I have no idea what a Supernova is, but I'm going to get excited every time I talk about it. Of course, we'll have the Self-Trumpeter of the week. So it's not the Self-Trumpeter of the year. We do this in racing season. So we'll have a Christmas sort of count as to who's the leaderboard, where we're at, and we've got a pretty firm favourite at the moment. Then, of course, the tips and best bets for Pakenham and Randwick. But, of course, subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcast. 5-star rating and a review. Of course, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. So anytime we do some content, it comes up on your feed. Doing a lot of Racing Victoria previews at the moment. But, Lammy, let's rip into the Self-Trumpeter of the week as we head into Christmas.
Yes, let's start with 2 votes for Lee Jones. It's an unusual 2-voter here. The trumpet is not racing based, but Lee occasionally tweets about racing, so he goes in. He runs a bit of a series called Work Diaries, where he highlights the antics of his colleagues.
There's some good ones.
Yeah, so you have seen it?
Yep.
He asked a warehouse worker to empty some wood and bark out of the tray of a ute during the week. The guy refused, saying it was too hot. He couldn't be asked, too hot, someone else do it.
Fair. Monday morning it was 40 degrees.
Yeah, I think at the time, though, it was about 28, as reported by Lee.
Okay. It's not the old school cancellation too hot.
No. So a while after airing this exchange, Lee posted a photo of the ute and its contents with the caption, "Done and dusted. Took me 18 minutes and I'm an office worker. Not too hot, built up a sweat though." So he's got out there in his white, collared shirt, picked up the shovel himself, just to stick it to this bloke. Good effort to do that, but also a nice trumpet.
I'm the office worker.
Yeah, I'm the office worker. Took me 18 minutes. Some wild stuff in that Work Diaries series. He seemingly works with some pretty unique individuals, as Brett Kirk would say. Yeah. 3 votes. John Kanga. I like the way the Kanga goes about things. He seems to have a punter first mentality, and he's certainly not afraid to engage with the rank and file. However, he loves a bit of third person work.
Doesn't he?
And I think this was his best. JRM, don't know who that is, but they tweeted, "Punters knew it, Caulfield Heath, was wrong and wouldn't work, etc., etc. Hashtag up the Kanga." Kanga replied with, "Punters are the oxygen in racing's blood. Kanga knows this." We now have a real voice. So Kanga being that voice, as declared by Kanga. So there's a bit to digest there, but
Kanga.
3 votes for each Kanga. He's a cracker. 6 votes.
Oh.
Josh Ando, ex-user. You know that. Well, you would, because I know you're a bit of a sicko for it, as I am. That famous Simpsons scene where Chief Wiggum says, "Dig up, stupid."
Yep.
Josh did a lot of digging on Saturday without getting anywhere. He dug a little bit deeper. So Started with some classic post-race expertise after Sea King went like a busted ass.
Yep.
Racing Previews had tweeted during the week, Sea King $3.90 with Ladbrokes in the Christmas Cup with a little Christmas present emoji. So saying it's a gift.
Given the way he trialled, fair.
Yeah. As runners were literally crossing the line, Josh replied to that tweet with, if you think Sea King will win this, you have zero racing knowledge. So the race was over when he tweeted this.
Okay.
And he was obviously called out for the post-race expertise. And he replied with, I'm on delay. I posted before they were even running.
Oh.
Purely based on a new jockey and his trial where it finished second last, you couldn't possibly back it. Guess I was right. So I won't read out all the back and forth because he was called out by a lot of punters.
Yep.
Where was this before the race, etc., etc.
The horse jogged in its trial, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not sure about his read on that one. And then he tweeted, honestly, I haven't bet on the horses today. Been busy, only just saw the race. So too busy to punt, but not too busy to chide Racing Previews for backing Sea King after the fact. So 6 votes for Josh, and there was more too.
Yeah.
Check out this thread if you get a chance. It's quite a laugh. But that is the votes for this week. Do you have a leaderboard update?
Yeah, we do. So as we head into the Christmas break, we have a tear away leader who's getting chipped away at ever so slowly, and he's a good chaser. He's the runner-up at the moment. But currently, 18 votes. Miles Fitzner absolutely leading the way, but he's just cutting a swathe at the moment. Like, we could be on for record votes this season. Second on 12 is the Hawk, Andrew Hawkins.
Yeah, so
I felt like he got let off lightly for the first class trumpet, that he was in the first class lounge and then the business class upgrade for Hong Kong.
He loves that, doesn't he?
Yeah, I was a bit jealous, as Xavier said, but like just straight up trumpeting. Next, third, is our early leader, Xavier Pakenham. He got 10 votes in the first show of the season. He's just sitting there. Kane Corns is fourth, but we're not going to count it because he'll get run over. Josh Ando on 6, and then you got a 3-way tie on 5 votes with Jacko Oldham, Racing Previews, and Damien Radcliffe. All 3 of them known just to pop their heads up now and then with some good trumpeting.
A few past winners in there. I think Damo, Hawk, and I don't know if Fitzner, who won it last year? Hawk won it last year,
but Fitzner had the record for votes in a day.
Yep.
Which was then broken by Xavier when he got 10 in a day for his first efforts there. All right, we'll quickly touch on last week's results because
rather not.
I'll be honest, they weren't great. Xavier went zip for 3 with Sea King, Moravia, and Kettle Hill. Adam the same with Final Siren, Twain's Angels, and Count the Sessions at Ascot. Also a yellow card for your best value being $7.50. I know Adam's the boss, Xavier, but you need to call that out.
Actually, I forgot to put him in the self-trumpeter votes.
Yep.
Because his value firmed.
Yeah.
And he sent a Slack message saying, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I'm moving the markets.
Oh, that's not great because he's on 4 votes at the moment too. So
I might have to give retrospective votes next time we're on.
So that's last week. What was your set last week?
Not good.
Yep.
Similar to the other 2 you just mentioned. Best bet was Miss Altair, which, look, it was a hard watch to be honest because it shook off Mirabelle Rose and I thought we're home here. And then Yes Lulu bombed us from the back.
How did Yes Lulu do that?
2 from 2 now at that track, Yes, Lulu. Next best was Spirit of Camelot. Went okay, but didn't really handle the final bend. Didn't quicken until it was all over. And the best value was Bold Dino, who was garbage, to be honest. He's a long, long way off his best. He probably gets the sack.
Okay. Let's get to Pakenham. It is the feature meeting of the weekend because Racehill's just Randwick, it's just a bunch of benchmarkers going around. So we'll get to that after this. But Lamby, your best bet comes up in the feature, the Supernova.
It does indeed. Race 8, number 6, Nadal. Wide gate, but the tempo looks really strong here. So I don't think Brown will have any issues slotting in, whether that's midfield or beyond midfield. It's simply ridiculous winning at Cranbourne last start. Clear on-pace bias that day, but he came from the back and won by almost 3 lengths under a hold, basically. The only real query, I guess, is the 1,400 metres. He's yet to tick that box. The way he relaxed and then exploded last time, though, makes me think he'll handle it. He's pretty deep into the prep, so fitness won't be an issue. I think we're getting around 260,
285 with our friends at Boombet this morning.
For a horse who could potentially be a Group 1 galloper next year. So I'm happy to be with Nadal based on that last start performance.
Your next best comes up in the Cup.
Yeah, I think it'll be a Ma Brown feature double. They combine with Smoke and Romans here. Has 60 kilos and a wide gait, but he brings the best form into this by a long way. Beaten less than a length at Group 2 level last start. He's actually put together a really solid block of form, whereas most of his rivals are either out of form or have been really mixing it up. One good run, one bad run. Yep, and he's been pretty consistent. So smoking Romans for me in the Pakenham Cup.
And your value comes up early in the day.
Yeah, race 3, number 6, Here Comes a Star. She was sound without much luck last start, settled back in a slowly run race and raced in restricted room throughout. I thought she was pretty good through the line. This is certainly no harder. The favourite's lightly raced and is showing promise, but is a step up for that horse. Bit more luck and a cleaner run from the inside alley. I think she'll definitely be in the finish at each way odds. So, yeah, maybe a good 1x3 play there.
Okay, don't mind it. Right, we head to Randwick, where the week before Christmas, the meeting's always a bit funky at Randwick. It is just a bunch of benchmarkers rolling around because next week you have horses having their final lead up for Magic Millions.
Yeah, and you get a bit of a split too because of the Boxing Day, they have feature races and then you have...
Yeah, so it's going to be weird because Boxing Day's a Thursday, then you got the Saturday as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. A few years ago, they just went good races were on the Saturday because Christmas Eve was a Saturday. So they just went Boxing Day races are the good ones on the Saturday. But anyway, should be good weather there. No rain on the radar. We are currently good for rail out 3 metres. Best bet comes up in the staying feature, race 6. It's benchmark 78 over 2,400 metres. I'm with the King's Horse, Gilded Water for Kieran Ma and Dylan Brown McGonigal taking the ride. He was fantastically backed in his first start in Australia at Kembla, and they went a million miles an hour. They ran just on 2 minutes flat for 2,000 at Kembla. So the above benchmarkers at Kembla would have just lost their absolute minds going, this is like world record pace. Did come home in a slower sectional, but it made sense given the pace they went. He was first up in Australia of a pretty good trial there, but was backed into $3.30 favourite. And he hit a bit of a flat spot in the home straight, but once he got into his gears with Collett on board, he really ran through the line quite well. It's very weird. He's a fast net rock out of a Galileo mare. Doesn't stream a strong stayer, but he's up the 2,400 metres. And as I said, this is just a bunch of handicappers running around against each other. Currently $2.40 with our friends at Boombet. I think he's a horse with tremendous upside. The Danger's come out of a heavy 10 race a couple of weeks ago, so I'm happy to take the bet that this one's just a bit better than them. Next best comes up in a race 9. Found it a very hard day to find some good bets there. But we're going with a number 7 in flight for Jay Ford and Joe Pride. And I'm going against one of my favourites here, now Kobe's son. But I thought the way that this mare hit the line at last start at Rose Hill, which was first up, was quite good. And then went back through some of her form at Randwick over 1,100 metres. Just really seems to run through the line quite well. She did put 3 on the bounce together in the middle of the year on soft going. 2 starts on good tracks for 2 seconds. So I'm just thinking that it should be all right here. She's got a strong SP profile. The way that she ran through the line as well, it looked like she had a bit of improvement to come, and I thought our Kobe son was a bit weak on the line there. So happy to take the $5.30 available. And the value comes up in the final event of the day. I'm with a West of Africa. There's been some money around already. Number 5 for Tyler Schiller, Neesham and Rob Archibald. $13.40. Look, this horse comes into this first up from a spell. But like the way he went about in his first 2 trials, the first trial he just dead set didn't take part, sat out the back and just jogged through the line. But second up over 1,000 metres, Schiller gave him a dig through the ribs through the line. He was quite good there. He's a winner first up twice in the past, and he's a winner over the distance. So I'm happy to take the $13, $14 about him at the moment at a bit of value in what looks to be a tricky race when you've got the favourite Yorkshire, who's first up from a spell also, and Accredited absolutely smashed them last start in the midweek. So it's a good race to finish off, but I'm happy to take the value West of Africa with a team that is absolutely flying.
Very good.
All right, let's get into the yays and nays for the week. Lammy. Can we call the Southside Racing slot races a success given the fields? So that is the Supernova and the one they had at Cranbourne, who I've completely forgotten what they called. The Meteorite.
Yes.
I like the Supernova better.
Yes. Yay. I think you can debate Cranbourne and Pakenham, etc., holding standalone Saturday meetings, but the actual feature races in the series have attracted bloody strong fields for this time of year particularly. There is some filler in the Supernova, but also a lot of group class gallopers and a potential top liner in Nadal. So I think it is a must-watch race this Saturday, which you probably wouldn't say about the Pakenham Cup. So I think it has been a success.
I like Pakenham as well. It's big, open, fair track. Like it's a good punting track.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
I don't mind it.
One for you.
Yep.
Well, both of us, really. J-Mac got off light in Hong Kong. Yay or nay?
I'm going with yay on this. He caused a fall in the second last race on Sunday evening where He was on the favourite, and on the turn, he just pushed out. He's like, I'm going to get the gap, and he ended up winning the race. But in doing so, he's pushed a few horses out, which has then caused Lyle Hewitson, I can't remember the horse's name, he's fallen and come down. Zach Purton, the horse he was on, was a Mark Newnham horse, ended up with no reins and bit in its mouth, and thankfully eased up on its own, and another horse got completely hampered. 3 weeks when it's usually, you look at a fall in Australia, it's usually 20 meetings is the starting point. This was bordering on reckless because he just barged out on the turn and knocked them all down. I think it's lucky that Romantic Warrior's running 3 days after this suspension ends. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Or maybe I need to watch it again because I went with Neigh.
Yep.
Just because, 7 Hong Kong meetings doesn't seem like much, but they only race twice a week over there. So
about
when
3
you
weeks.
translate it to Aussie, it's 3 to 4 weeks, which is a fair chunk of time. I mean, given his record, that obviously held him in good stead. But he misses the Magic Millions. Not that he needs the money. And he copped around a 10K fine as well, which he probably has in the glove box.
We did the math when he had that big day on International Day in Hong Kong. It was over $1 million Aussie in prize money he picked up. Plus, I think he got 200,000 in Hong Kong for running second in the Jockeys Challenge on the Wednesday night. So he had a fair week.
Yeah, I don't think the 10K fine will touch the sides.
Pre-sling as well.
Yep. Caulfield Heath is a good betting track, yay or nay?
I'm going to go with yay. It's playing like every tight turning track seemingly does. You want to find the horses that settle on speed and have the natural ability to put themselves there. And now and then you get races with overcompensation when they go too fast. And good jockeys like Craig Williams find the right part of the track to be in. I've had no issues so far. It's not like Gold Coast or Eagle Farm when they were newly built. You had all the kickback. The surface is playing fine. It's a smaller track. What did we expect?
No, I'm a yay as well. I don't think the on-pace bias has been that obvious.
It hasn't been ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I mean, I did expect it to be a bit of a greyhound track, especially in summer. You'd think, pretty hard track.
Yeah.
You want to be on the leaders all the time, but they are running on. It's playing evenly at the moment. The fact that my best bet bolted in there yesterday helps. But no, I was surprised that Kanga gave it a fair whack, saying that it's not up to Saturday standard.
Yeah, I think I'd rather, so it sounds weird, I haven't looked at the dimensions, but I'd rather bet there than Cranbourne.
Yeah, same. I think it's a good summer circuit. You don't want to see capacity fields there in every race. But I think it does the job for this time of year.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. All right, that is us done and dusted here on Hold All Tickets. We'll be back on the Thursday before Magic Millions. Myself and Xavier will be up on the Gold Coast. So we'll be tipping up a storm there. Xavier will be just getting every single tip humanly possible from all the people up there. He is one in the know as one Xavier Pakenham.
He'll be like a pig in mud up there.
Oh, he's
sales ring.
He's very, very excited. I fear for him on the Thursday night when we're at a certain function that is hosted by a bookmaker. It's going to be a good time. But of course, we are brought to you by our friends at BoomBet. Great fixed odds, more value, and more boom moments. Sign up today and get in on the boom. Now make sure you head across to punters.com.au for all the written write-ups across the weekend. Of course, we still have the Perth Cup to come in early New Year. Is it New Year's Day, I think?
Used to be. I don't know if it still is.
Hopefully it still is. If not, I've butchered that. And then Magic Millions is the second week of January. And before we know it, the Blue Diamond Preludes will kick off on Australia Day. So all the good racing is right around the corner. Of course, social media, X, Facebook, and Instagram. But Lamby, happy Christmas, mate.
You too.
Shout out to Homie behind the screen. We love our friend Homie. He is leaving us. This is his final show with us. He'll absolutely hate this, but thank you for everything you've done, Homie. And also make sure to check out all of our other shows, AFL Today, AFLW Today, and NFL Australia. But for now, on Hold All Tickets, have a happy Christmas and a good New Year.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.